I think she's not coming up. But anyway, so now we go ahead with our program. And I would like to introduce our guest speaker. Our guest speaker today is from Armenia, respected Naira Makcharyan. Well, she already delivered few lectures, but I would definitely like to say some more thing about her. She has done engineering from Yerevan Polytechnic Institute, Armenia, a postgraduate degree in diplomatic services from Moscow, and MPhil degree in international relations from GNU University, New Delhi. Well, she has worked for more than 11 years with the at the diplomatic mission, and she is expert on Asia, Pacific, and Africa department. Worked with the Armenian embassy in Moscow. Author and anchor of TV series of TV programs. Also a political analyst, and she also the president of Chinese Center for Culture and Science. Also important aspect is that she was senior expert on Asia, PR and Information Department, Armenian President's Administration. So she was with the Armenian President's Department, also a translator of Armenian, Russian, English, in the Information and PR Department, Ministry of Defense. Also university lecturer of more than 10 years. At present, she is the head of education department of the Makhira Ghosh Armenian Russian International University. That's the qualification she's holding, and she is very, very fond of India. And the Armenians, as the call, they are on the Silk Road. They call themselves Aryans. They are the sun worshippers and very ancient link with India, which she gave a few presentations earlier. So now I request Naira ji to go ahead with the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mathurji. I welcome you all. Good evening, everybody. It is really a great privilege to talk in front of such a great audience and to present one issue which is has a lot of information. Sometimes it comes in the news. For the last 30 years, it is always on the news. Sometimes too much news, sometimes a little. And with Madhuvji, we understood that many people don't know even the place, this Karabakh, where is it situated, and what is the main reason why this conflict began, how it happened. So that's why we decided to do this presentation. And one more thing I would like, maybe since I was, for some time I lived in India, I was studying in Jawaharlal Nehru University in Delhi, so I could interact with many people, and I came to know that many people even haven't heard about Armenia, and they don't know the location, where is it, and even the best was that they were asking, I was saying I'm from Armenia, they were saying, Romania. I was saying, no, Romania is a different European country. Armenia is different. So that's why if in my presentation I will explain some simple things, it is only because of that maybe you will not know these things. So now I will share my screen and we will start. So Artsakh, Karabakh. Now let's start with the names. Why it is called Artsakh and why it is called Karabakh. So Artsakh is the ancient name of this region, and it is on the name of the Artsakh prince, the ruler of Artsakh. So the first part is his name. His name was Aran, and Tsakh in Armenian language means wood, means forest. So that means that this region is Aran's region. And that was more than 2,300 years, this name, but it was changed into Karabakh in 13th, 14th century because Turks, Mongols, Arabs invaded this region, this Caucasian region, and it was changed into Turkic word Karabakh, which means Kara means black and Bach means garden. So it is a black garden. Now let's see the map. So this is the map of our region. This is Caspian Sea, this is Black Sea. So in between is the Caucasian, South Caucasian region, where there are three Transcaucasian republics, Georgia, Armenia, and Azerbaijan. And here in this part, this is Karabakh. I will just show this photo also because I like it, very interesting. This is from satellite. This is our region, and where Armenia is here, Turkey is here, Iran is here. So, but historical name of this all is called Armenian Plateau. The geographic and political shape of ancient Armenia. So again, let's see that this is Caspian Sea, this is Black Sea. So the present Armenia is this much. But in ancient time, there was Great Armenia, which occupied 300,000 square kilometers. And it had so many provinces. Then Artsakh is an integral part of historic Armenia. During the Urartian or Araratian kingdom era, which was from 9th till 6th century BC, Artsakh was known as Urtekhni with this name. Then, as a part of Armenia, Artsakh is mentioned in the works of ancient Greek philosophers from 5th century BC till 3rd century AD, such as Strabo, Pliny the Elder, Claudius Ptolemy, Plutarch, Roman historian Diocasius, and other ancient authors. The evident testimony of it is the remained rich historic cultural heritage on the territory of Artsakh. In 387, Great Armenia was divided between Byzantine Empire and Persian Empire, and Artsakh became part of the Eastern Armenian Kingdom, which soon fell under the Persian rule. At that time, Artsakh was part of the Armenian province. Then, in the period of Arabic rule, that is 7th, 8th century, it was part of Armenia region. Then Artsakh was part of the Armenian kingdom Bagratids, then part of Zakharid Armenia. So like that. So I'm just showing that for so many centuries, Artsakh was part of Armenia. It was one of the Armenian provinces. And this is again the Great Armenia map. So I would show you, this is Artsakh, the green one. I would also mention that Artsakh is consisted of two parts. This one is mountainous Artsakh, and this one is valley Artsakh. So Karabakh, during this conflict, it was called also Nagorno Karabakh. Why? Because Nagorno, this is already Russian word. Nagorno means mountainous. So we were talking about, the conflict will talk about this, Nagorno Karabakh, that is mountainous Karabakh. So in the following centuries, Artsakh fell under the rule of various conquerors, remaining Armenian and having a semi-independent status. Here, I would like to mention that Artsakh people are warriors. They are like Kshatriyas of Armenians and very good warriors. That's why, although they were under the rule of some conquerors during some different centuries, different conquerors, but they could maintain their semi-independent status. And one more thing, the evidence how the Karabakh people are real great warriors. I will give the example of our Armenian marshals who were famous during the Second World War. So I would say that 4 Armenian marshals and 1 admiral of fleet of the Soviet Union are from Karabakh. And by the way, the interesting thing that 3 of these marshals are from the same village in Karabakh. It is called Chardakhlu. So since the mid-18th century, the invasion of Turkic nomadic tribes to the north of Karabakh began, which led to clashes with local Armenians. During this period, the 5 Armenian Melikdoms are memorable, which had reached the peak of their prosperity and power in the late 18th century. Then, at the end of the Russian-Persian War, which lasted from 1804 to 1813, according to Gulistan Treaty of 1813, Artsakh Karabakh with northeast Armenia together was annexed to the Russian Empire. So we see the map of that time, Russian Empire. So let's see, this green color is Armenia, which was conquered by Ottoman Empire and it became part of Ottoman Empire. This is the one. And this yellow one is the part which was before that Russian-Persian War was Persian. Then after the victory of Russia over Persia, it became part of Russian Empire. So we see this green one, and this is the Karabakh place, Karabakh region, which was named Governorate of Elizabeth Pol. This is Governorate of Tiflis, which was, it had big Armenian population, and Batum Oblast also. With big Armenian population. So now let's see the beginning of the 20th century, how this Karabakh conflict began. So let's go to the beginning of the 20th century. We remember that in 1914 till 1918, there was the First World War. In 1917, there was the socialist revolution in Russian Empire under the leadership of Lenin. So this socialist revolution was won, and it became socialist country. Russia became socialist country, and then these Bolsheviks, that means these Bolsheviks were the main party of this socialist revolution, the leader party. So they started doing their revolutions in the other countries of the previous Russian Empire. So this is 1917, and also I would talk about 1915. Again, during the war, what happened? This is the tragic page of Armenian history. In 1915 happened the Armenian genocide on the territory of the Ottoman Empire. Again, let's go back to the map. So again, see that how many provinces, Armenian provinces, were on the territory of Turkey. So there were starting from the end of 19th century, the massacres of Armenians were taking place in different provinces of this Western Armenia. And the government of Turkey declared that we need Armenia without Armenians. So in 1915, a big massacre was organized, and 2 million Armenians were killed. So it is a real genocide. It is called genocide in the history books, but till now, Turkey doesn't want to recognize the genocide done by the Turkish government. They are saying that that was not a genocide. That time there was the First World War, so many things can happen. Many people can die, they can be killed. So I told 2 million people were massacred. and the many refugees, many lakhs of refugees, they ran away to the Russian part of Armenia. So this is the situation in 1917 that Nagorno-Karabakh conflict began during the formation of three ethnic republics of Transcaucasia: Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia. By the way, let me tell you about Azerbaijan. So that time, I showed you many maps, and you saw that there is no Azerbaijan on the ancient maps. So Azerbaijan was artificially created in 1917, 1918, and it is like Pakistan, artificially created formation. So these three ethnic republics of Transcaucasia were formed: Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Georgia, as a result of the collapse of the Russian Empire. 95% of the population of Nagorno-Karabakh were Armenians. They proclaimed Nagorno-Karabakh an independent political unit, elected national council and government. And during 1918 till 1920, it had its army and legitimate authority. But Turkey didn't drop the idea to eliminate Armenians and take this Eastern Armenia also. That's why during these 2 years, 1918 till 20, Azerbaijan and military units of Turkey launched a military action and carried out massacres against the Armenian population. And only in Karabakh, only in the Shushi, in Shushi city, which was that time capital of Karabakh, only 40,000 Armenians were killed only there. So, in order to prevent military conflict, Karabakh and Azerbaijan signed a preliminary agreement by which they agreed to discuss the problem of the status of the region at Paris Peace Conference. But the League of Nations rejected the request for Azerbaijan's membership, citing the fact that it is difficult to define clear boundaries and territories under the sovereignty of this state, since there was no country of Azerbaijan before 1918. So, of course, they couldn't define what are the boundaries of this country. So, among other contentious issues, there was the issue of the status of Nagorno-Karabakh. Because of the Sovietization of the region, the issue fell out of the agenda of international organizations. So this peace conference was going on in 1920. So in the end of 1920, these three republics became Soviet. So Soviet revolution also won in these countries. So that's why this this issue, this region issue, was dropped from the agenda of international organizations. So this is the map of that period from 1918 till 20. So as we see, this already Azerbaijan is there, Georgia is there, and Armenia is there. That time it had more territory than now. I will show you another map. It will be clearly seen. So now the Soviet period, what happened during the Soviet period from 1920 till 1991. So the establishment of Soviet rule in Transcaucasia was accompanied by the creation of a new political system. Nagorno-Karabakh has been recognized as a disputed territory between Armenia and Azerbaijan, also by Soviet Russia. According to the agreement signed in August 1920 between Soviet Russia and the Armenian Republic, Russian troops were temporarily deployed in Nagorno-Karabakh. And it is the irony of the destiny or irony of time, just 100 years later, in 2020, again, Russian troops were deployed in Nagorno-Karabakh. This I will tell later. Immediately after the establishment of the Soviet regime in Armenia, that was on November 29. Next day, November 30, the Azerbaijan Revolutionary Committee made a declaration recognizing territories over which Azerbaijan had claims: Nagorno-Karabakh, Zangezur, and Nakhichevan. So that is, I will show you now. So this is Karabakh, this is Zangezur, and this is Nakhichevan. So Azerbaijan said that it has no claims on these three regions, Armenian regions, Nagorno-Karabakh, Zangezur, and Nakhichevan. So they are inseparable parts of Armenia. So this is in 1920, November 30. Then after half year, in 1929, June 12th, Azerbaijan proclaimed Nagorno-Karabakh an integral part of the Armenian Soviet Socialist Republic. After a few days, Armenia also declared Nagorno-Karabakh as her integral part. On July 4, 1921, Caucasian Bureau of the Communist Party of Russia convened a plenary session during which the fact that Nagorno-Karabakh is part of the Armenian SSR was reconfirmed. But something happened in one day that on July 5, under the dictation of Moscow and Stalin's direct interference, Stalin was the leader of the Soviet Union. That time he was in the leadership, in the highest leadership of the Soviet Union. Then he became the leader from 1924 to 1953. He was a very powerful figure. So, under the dictation of Moscow and Stalin's direct interference, on the night of July 5, the decision of the previous day was reviewed, and the forced decision of incorporating Nagorno-Karabakh to Azerbaijan and forming on its territory an autonomous region, NKO, that is Nagorno-Karabakh Autonomous Oblast region in Russian language, was made, not even keeping procedure. This decision is an unprecedented legal act in the history of international law when the party organ of a third country, without any legal basis of authority, determines the status of Nagorno-Karabakh. Armenians of Nagorno-Karabakh never put up with this decision and for decades struggled for reunification with the motherland. So during the 70 years, before that, I will show this map again. So please see. So besides Nagorno-Karabakh, this is the region. So this Nakhichevan Armenian territory was also given to Azerbaijan. Even they didn't see, they don't have any common border. This is Nakhichevan, and from here starts Azerbaijan. But again, on the decision of the Soviet leadership, this also was given, Nakhichevan region, Armenian region, was also given to Azerbaijan. So just pay attention to this map. So this is already this part, the western part, this is already part of Turkey. And this was for some time part of Armenia. Then again, it was taken by Turkey. So now we have this, the present day map of Armenia is this one. This small territory, only 30,000 square kilometers. So Nakhichevan was taken and Karabakh was taken during the Soviet period. Now, during the 70 years of Soviet period, ethnic cleansing policy of Azerbaijan in Karabakh and Nakhichevan was conducted. In 1923, let's see the figures. In 1923, Armenian population in Karabakh was 94.4%. And already in 1989, it is 76.9%. And now let's see the figures of Nakhichevan. In 1917, the population of Nakhichevan was 40%, and after 70 years, it decreased to 1.4%. And moreover, the Azeri government was doing everything to eliminate any evidence of Armenian presence here. So in Nakhichevan, all the 219 historical Armenian monuments were destroyed. And now let me share with you another video about this Julfa Khachkars. So Khachkar is part of Armenian culture. This is a unique thing in the Armenian art, which is not repeated in any art of another country. So this is called Khachkar, that is cross stone. So I found one video which is showing how the Azeris who are eliminating these 10,000 Khachkars. Can you imagine? Now let me share that video with you. This is the one.
These were the last headstones of a medieval cemetery, the last testament to 1,000 years of a people's history. On December 15th, 2005, they were wiped off the face of the earth. Nestled between the nations of Armenia and Iran is the region of Nakhichevan. In southern Nakhichevan, on the banks of the river Araxes, is the area of Julfa. In this remote, windswept place, Armenians have lived for over 2,000 years. Here, there once was a cemetery filled with 10,000 Armenian burial monuments, Khachkars, standing up to 8 feet tall, carved of pink, reddish, and yellowish stone. They were beautiful and intricate, a testament to Julfa's past. Some were nearly 1,500 years old. The Armenian cemetery they constituted was said to be the largest in the world. Most were still standing in the 1920s, when the Soviet government gave control of Nakhichevan to the nation of Azerbaijan. Most of the remaining Armenians of Nakhichevan soon left the region. Over the next 7 decades, the sacred Khachkars of Julfa were broken down and carried away by locals, often to be used as building materials. By 1998, there were only 2,000 still remaining from the original 10,000. But the worst was yet to come. Reports began to emerge that Azeri authorities were deliberately destroying the last of the Khachkars. The international Armenian community tried to raise the alarm. In 1998, thanks to their pleas, UNESCO ordered the destruction to stop. But the demolition began again in 2002. In December of 2005, eyewitnesses across the Araxes saw Azeri soldiers smash the remaining Khachkars with sledgehammers and drop the broken stones into the river. Since the fall of the Soviet Union, tensions had flared between Armenia and Azerbaijan over claims to territory. Now, one last bold attempt was being made to erase the Armenian presence in Nakhichevan. The Azerbaijan government denied any involvement in the devastation. Nakhichevan's representative to the Azeri government declared that the Azeris had not destroyed the Armenian cemetery because there never were any Armenians in Nakhichevan at all. All the while, the world stood by.
So this
nothing.
much.
Only a few out.
So now I will continue. So this was how was done the elimination of Armenian cultural heritage in Nakhichevan, and the same happened in what do you call it? In Karabakh And in Turkey also, Turkey is doing also the same situation. So now again, we go back to the presentation. So, oh, it is not working. So Nagorno-Karabakh in the Soviet period from 1920 till 1991. So this is Armenia, Nakhichevan, which doesn't have any border with Azerbaijan, and this Karabakh issue, Karabakh region, and all the Azerbaijan. So when Karabakh was given to Azerbaijan, there was a common border. There was a link with Armenia and Karabakh. But during the Soviet period, they did everything so that there will be no link with Armenia. So they cut this territory. They made this Lachin corridor, which belongs to Azerbaijan. So that is how totally Karabakh was like taken to the territory of Azerbaijan. So maybe you heard about Mikhail Gorbachev, the last leader of Soviet Union. So in 1985, he came to power and he declared that now you can speak openly, because you know that Soviet Union was a authoritarian regime, and many people, the people couldn't speak up what they think, what they want. And when Gorbachev came, he said that now you can speak everything. Now you can talk about your problems. And that's why the Karabakh people at last got the chance. At last we can talk about our Karabakh, about our situation. And in 1988, demonstrations on the territory of Karabakh began. They wanted self-determination. The Karabakh people wanted to be part of Armenia, to return to their homeland. But in response to the self-determination claims of Nagorno-Karabakh population, the Azeri authorities organized massacres and ethnic cleansing of the Armenian population on the entire territory of Azerbaijan. During the Soviet period, many Armenians lived also on the territory of Azerbaijan, particularly in the big cities, Sumgait, Baku, and Kirovabad. So Azeris started killing Armenians in these three cities. And on February 20, in 1988, starting from that day, protest demonstrations started in Yerevan, capital of Armenia, demanding unification with NKO. In 1989, a state of emergency was declared and 50,000 Armenians fled from Azerbaijan. They came to Armenia. On December 10, 1991, Nagorno-Karabakh population declared the establishment of the Nagorno-Karabakh Republic by plebiscite. And after that, it was renamed Republic of Artsakh. It was an independent country of Republic of Artsakh, but this republic as a state till now, 30 years, it is not recognized by any country. So the first Karabakh war lasted for 6 years, from 1988 till 1994. And on May 1994, Azerbaijan, Nagorno-Karabakh, and Armenia signed a ceasefire document, according to which the shelling should be stopped. But so during this, from 90 till 2016, number of perished in Karabakh war were more than 10,000, and it is too much. And this 10,000 people is too much, having into account that the population of Armenia is only 3 million. And the Karabakh population is only 1.5 lakh, 150,000. So there is a Minsk group of Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe, which was formed to encourage a peaceful, negotiated resolution to the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan over Nagorno-Karabakh. It was formed in 1992, and the Minsk Group co-chairmen are France, Russia, and the United States. But till now, 30 years, this conflict is going on, but no any settlement is done till now. Minsk Group is working, but still, as we see, the issue is not solved. And during all this, after the war, when the first war was over from 94, again, there were shellings on the borders, there were snipers on the borders. All the time our young soldiers were dying. By the way, I would maybe you know or not, but in Armenia the military service is compulsory. It is not like in India that who wants who can go to the army. In Armenia it is compulsory. When the boys reach 18 years of age, they must serve in the army for 2 years. So imagine that these young boys standing on the border, and it is very difficult for them, and it is very dangerous. So first Karabakh War, how it ended. So this was the previous, this dark brown is the previous borders of Nagorno-Karabakh Autonomous Region. So during the war, Armenian army liberated other parts of Nagorno-Karabakh, and it looked like this, the territory. So but Azerbaijan all over the world was saying that Armenia occupied our lands, but this, we just liberated our historical territories. So till 2020, the map is this. This is Armenia, and the yellow one is Nagorno-Karabakh. That is Artsakh Republic with the capital Stepanakert. Then, in 2016, a war erupted, which is also known as the 4-day war, or April War, or April clashes. It began along the Nagorno-Karabakh line of contact on 1st of April 2016 with the Artsakh Defense Army, backed by the Armenian Armed Forces on one side and the Azerbaijani Armed Forces on the other. The scale of the military actions, the number of forces and combat equipment involved, such as heavy artillery, including the use of cluster munitions, tanks, air forces, and suicide drones, as well as the statements of Azerbaijani officials, clearly indicate that this war was not a spontaneous escalation, but a carefully planned and prepared military operation aimed at resolving the Karabakh conflict by the use of force instead of peaceful means. But fortunately, on the 5th of April, the leaders of Azerbaijan and Armenia met in Moscow, and under the mediation of Russia, a ceasefire was declared. So the war was stopped. But during these years, these 4 years, from 16 to 20, Azerbaijan, backed by Turkey, all the time they were making provocations on the border. They wanted to resolve this Karabakh problem on their own, in their own way, to take back these territories. And in 2018, the government, the leadership of Armenia changed, and a weak leader came into power in Armenia, and these were waiting the Azeris and Turks. So, because I would tell you that second and third presidents of Armenia, Robert Kocharian and Serge Sargsyan, they were participants of the first Karabakh War. They were warriors, and during their leadership, it couldn't happen to give territories to Azerbaijan. So, Artsakh Karabakh War, second war, started on the 27th of September and finished on 9th of November in 2020. The second full-scale war escalated September 27, and it lasted for 44 days, killing more than 5,000 people, wounded 10,000 soldiers, and losing 70% of Artsakh territory. So, as I told you, 5,000 young boys from 18 till 20 years of age. Of course, we have contract soldiers, but the majority of the army are these young boys. So on November 9, 2020, a document was signed between Armenia, Azerbaijan, and Russia on ceasefire. It was written there that the troops must stop where they are, and this will be the border. So that is how we lost 70% of Artsakh territory. Then, in the document, it was said that 1960 Russian peacekeepers, 1,960 Russian peacekeepers are deployed on the line of contact and Lachin corridor for 5 years. So from the next day till now, Russian troops are there and they are protecting Armenian population there. So this I told in the beginning of the lecture, like in 1920 was there, and just after 100 years, the same story happened, that again Russian troops came to Karabakh to protect. So the war was marked by the deployment of drones, sensors, long-range heavy artillery, and missile strikes, as well as by state propaganda and the use of official social media accounts in online information warfare. In particular, Azerbaijan's widespread use of drones was seen as crucial in determining the conflict's outcome. About the drones, I would tell that just after the war, the military researchers were talking on the Karabakh war, and they were saying that this war will already go to the history books of military history as the first drone war, because during these 44 days, every day, the whole day, drones were used. And by the way, all this equipment, all these drones and other military equipment, military technique were sent to Azerbaijan to help them from Israel, from Ukraine, from Turkey. And by the way, I would mention also that Pakistan always helps Turkey, helps Azerbaijan, and during the second Karabakh war, and also during the first Karabakh war, Pakistani mercenaries were fighting on the side of Azerbaijan against Armenia. So, but during this 44-day war, we didn't see any support from major powers. The United Nations just, it was only strongly condemning that what is happening, but any thing to stop Azerbaijan and Turkey, anything to help Armenia, there was not such thing. And I remember that just that time in the United States, one African-American drugger criminal was killed, and the whole world was talking only about that. So, no. So this is the new map. So how we lost, so all these territories as a Karabakh lost, Artsakh Republic lost, and only now this part is called Artsakh Republic. That is the only 30% of the total Republic of Artsakh. Now about Indians during this 2020 war. By the way, I would like to mention about India's help during all these 30 years of Karabakh conflict. All the time, every time India backed resolutions of Armenia on Karabakh issue, and we are thankful to India for this. And in return, always Armenia backs India on Kashmir issue. And as we see, always Pakistan and Turkey are backing Azerbaijan on Karabakh issue, and Azerbaijan is backing them on Pakistan on Kashmir issue. So Indians in Armenia, the journalist, the journalist from Indian TV9 TV channel was in Karabakh, in the war, in the battlefield, and every day, and even a few times a day, he was giving true information about the war, what is going on. And there we have in Armenia many Indian students who are studying mostly in the medical universities, and they helped Armenian refugees who fled from Karabakh during the war, because on their territory there were military actions going on, so they just ran away without taking anything. So they didn't have money, no food, no clothes. So all the Armenian people of Armenia and outside Armenia, also our diaspora was also helping Armenia in this war. And Indians, as you see on the picture, they collected a lot of food, clothes, and different necessary items to give to the refugees. And there is this one Indian restaurant. There are a few Indian restaurants in Yerevan, but this restaurant was helping displaced Armenians, and once a day they were giving free food to Armenian refugees from Karabakh. So it is difficult situation. The whole Armenia till now is in depression because we lost the war, and it was a betrayal. It was not that Armenians were not fighting properly, but we were betrayed by the leadership. But these things happened many times in the history of Armenia, but every time Armenians came out from it like a phoenix sunbird, which is after its death, again it is coming out of arising from ashes of its predecessor. That is also like our boys. So these are the wounded guys from the war. So they got treatment, and now they say that we are ready to fight. So, and now I would like just to share one warrior's song and dance, so you will see the Armenians' spirit, how they are real warriors, and what they will do. So, please watch. Thank you for your attention. If you have any questions, please.
Thank you very much, Nairaji. Was a wonderful presentation. You gave us it as an eye opener for most of us. The inside stories are not known to most of the people. There is one question from Veena Shettyji she's from New York, US. Veena ji, please ask your question.
Namaste. You mentioned that the region was named after a king called Aran. Was the name Aran? Does the name Aran come from Aryan?
Yes, all this are beginning. This is the mentioning Aryans, because our country is also Armenia. It is country of Aryan men. So it is the thing about Aryans. Yes, we have so many Armenian names like Armen, Arayik, Ara, Artur, Artavaz. This is always this RP. This is about Aryan roots.
Sorry, you mentioned the name Arnavaz because the name Arnavaz is also used by Zoroastrians. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
No, Arnavaz, yes, that is Zoroastrian, but Armenian name is Ardavazd. Ardavazd.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any more questions, please? Any more questions? Any more questions? Naraji, we are very grateful to you. There are no more questions now for this lovely presentation. We got the insights of the whole history and the war that you are even today facing, those problems in Armenia. Thousands and thousands of Armenians have been displaced. You have lost a major territory, even earlier to Turkey and now to Azerbaijan. That's a very sad state.
Yes, it is really a very sad situation that more than 5,000 young men died, and for 3 million Armenian population is too much. It is too much because it is now we are thinking about our demography, what will happen, and also till now the war situation is. Still the tense situation there is on the border, and I would tell you that in the document it was written that the parties will stay in the same place where they are stopped, but after that again Azeris continued to move forward to the not even to Karabakh territory but also to Armenian territory, and now they want to take the south part of Armenia. They are saying that this is our Azeri land, and moreover they are saying that Yerevan is also Azeri land. Yerevan, the capital of Armenia, which is historically part of this our ancient capital. It is 2,844 years old, our ancient capital. They say this is Azeri. By the way, I would tell you one thing. When I was doing research in Nehru University many years ago, I published an article. I was doing research on Armenians in India. So I published an article in Historical Review, that journal, and I went to meet with the editor-in-chief, and he showed me one brochure. He said, see, this is distributed by the Azeri embassy. And there it was written that all the territory of Armenia, everything, it was many thousand years ago, it was Azerbaijan, and Armenians came and took that. But this person said, that editor, I am historian, I know all the story. I know that this is lie. But you know, this many people, millions of people don't know history. So see what propaganda is doing Azerbaijan. This is just only one evidence I'm telling. And Azeris are bribing a lot of historians, researchers to tell that this is part of Armenian territories are part of Turkey, part of Azerbaijan, and that's why they are eliminating all the Armenian culture, historical monuments on the territory of Azerbaijan and Turkey. And even now, when they got the 70% of Karabakh, they started already eliminating Armenian churches there. And these are historical monuments of 5th century, 9th century, which are very old. And some of them are in the list of UNESCO. And they are doing everything to eliminate them. That's why the Russian troops even went there near this one. We have Dadivang, which is very ancient church. They went near that, the peacekeepers, Russian, were there not to allow it. And now these days, really, it is dangerous because, again, we are on the verge of war, as I can see, as I can understand.
Okay, there is a question from Veena Shetty again. Veena ji, go ahead, please ask the question.
Are there any, because I know Armenia is predominantly Christian now, is there any indigenous population in Armenia at all?
So indigenous people are Armenians. For many thousand years, more than 10,000 years, Armenians were living on this territory. On the Armenian Plateau.
I mean practicing indigenous culture, that means the pre-Christian culture.
Yes, of course we have. So during the Soviet period, it was not allowed. As you know, it was atheistic country, so any religion practicing is not was banned. But when in 1991 we got independence and after the Soviet Union collapsed, immediately the same time the pre-Christian people who were practicing, immediately they emerged. I mean, they started talking openly, and we have only one pre-Christian temple which survived, because all the pre-Christian temples were destroyed when Armenia was imposed to adopt Christianity. So they started this organization. Now is called the Sons of the Sun. So this is Sun Temple, pre-Christian, which has survived, and all these pre-Christian festivals are done in this temple, which is the 1st century temple. It is called Garni Temple, Sun Temple.
Oh, so is it recognized by the Armenian constitution, the indigenous people or the indigenous religion?
So our constitution says that the citizens are free in their religious thoughts. That is how this religious organization, the Sons of the Aryas, the Sons of the Sun, was registered as a religious organization. So it is allowed.
So this temple, would you have either a photograph or a name so that we could check about it or put a link?
Yeah, I will write the name. Garni. It is Garni Temple. Let me find. So just let me show one. So can you see, this is the temple, Garni Temple.
Yes, I can see it.
So this is it. Very nice and very near to Yerevan.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay. Thank you very much, Naira ji, for this wonderful presentation once again. And I think we'll have some more series of lectures from Armenia and the political issues arising out of these wars. Thank you very much to everybody who joined us today. Thank you so much. Namaste.
Yes, thank you very much for your attention. And to the organizers, thank you.
Thank you very much. Namaste. We meet next Saturday once again.